Okay, do I need to face the camera this way then?
Yeah, oh man. Brian, you're looking at it. Oh man.
It does have the air suspension on it. It does have some rust on the bottom, but it's really not bad for its age, all things considered. I mean, but as far as rust goes, this bus has a lot less rust than Navi did, doesn't it?
It has a lot, way less. Oh my gosh, way less. All right, you're not gonna believe this, but Oakley and I, we just slept in the car. We're currently in a rest area somewhere in Ohio, and we're going to Indiana to pick up a school bus. This thing's a full 37-foot, beautiful 2006 Thomas Freightliner. It is identical, like identical to Navi, except it has a few other upgrades and stuff. So we've got about 3.5 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I don't know, I have to look at the GPS back on the road. But yeah, we're like 2.5 hours from picking up this 2006 Freightliner, and Oakley doesn't give two craps. Oakley? Officially 2 miles from the bus. We are out in the middle of Indiana, close to Elkhart, where it's like the RV capital of the world. Yeah, apparently there's a bus somewhere out here on a farm. This bus was found about 2 weeks ago on Facebook Marketplace and looked like a cream puff, good price. We'll get more into all that. We're gonna look at the bus. I want to show everyone what exactly I was looking for when, you know, this bus was being looked at, why it was bought, and just kind of some of the things maybe you can look for. So we'll get into all the nitty-gritties. So if you guys are wondering, you know, I want to buy a school bus, or what the heck is Mike doing out in the middle of Indiana, don't worry, you're totally gonna find out. Gosh, this is gonna be such a fun day. Bus, 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 bus. There it is. I see it out in the field. Oh man, I see it, it's behind the building out there. I think we can do some donuts on this road. There it is. So here's the bus. I know I've said we bought a bus, but I didn't actually buy a bus. My friend Brian bought a bus. So we just are out here just trying to help him pick it up. I've only seen this bus online. Brian called me 2 weeks ago when he found it on Facebook Marketplace. We looked at it through FaceTime. Brian is currently looking at the school bus. I gotta call him. Brian, you're on camera.
I'm walking inside. This here is the dash. So the manufacturer sticker is pretty faded. A little musty smell in it, but not bad.
We also have an air show going on. I think they're doing something like in the fields, I'm assuming. So Brian found this bus and we were FaceTiming and trying to decide if it's something where he's gonna get. Yeah, Brian's been looking for a bus for about 4 years now. He's been looking for specifically a bus that is very similar to Navi. And well, this one is literally Navi. It's actually kind of scary to me looking at this because this brings back crazy memories of like when I gutted Navi 7 years ago. I gotta go talk to Brian and see what he thinks. So guys, I have to introduce you to Brian. Brian is a good long-term friend. I met you, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, right after, or right before. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we were having a live stream over on Patreon. Brian shows up and pretty much is like, guys, I think I found a bus. And everyone, of course, jumps in on it and is like trying to get him to show the bus, show the bus, show the bus. Well, by the end of the live stream, Brian pretty much was buying a bus. Brian's been looking for a bus for how long?
Probably about a couple of years on and off. After I toured Navi and saw it in person, I decided that what I wanted was my own version of Navi. Same chassis, same bus, same engine, pretty much same everything. It'll probably be a different color though.
Yeah, but, that's okay.
So, you know, it appears to be in really good shape. And again, big thanks to Mike. We did the video on the bus and, you know, I was crawling under looking at the axle tag and the transmission and all that fun stuff. You know, for its age and what I wanted, it checked all the boxes. My main concern is that we get it home, and then who better to ask than Mike, who's been driving this bus for what, 6 years?
I was gonna say, I actually just sat off camera in the driver's seat and it brought back so many memories because the dash is identical to Navi. I know most of you guys don't know Brian, of course you just met him, but for me and many of, you know, people out there on Patreon and stuff, Brian, you're standing in front of the bus you've been talking about for 4 years.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like literally like this shot was something that like Brian and bus behind him We've been waiting for this for a long time.
It hasn't sunk in, you know.
So we're gonna be going through it. Like Brian said, he already went through like some of the transmission stuff. We looked at all that, but we're gonna kind of go through the whole thing kind of again, just to share with all of you of kind of why Brian's particularly buying this bus, what he liked about it, what we like about it, some of the things that he might have to fix or change in the future. But at that point, as many of you know, it's a project at this point.
It is.
So here we go. Just as we all joke though, you have 3 years to finish it, and you beat me on Ivan.
Oh.
All right, so I don't know if this is going to be an eventful day or a very easy drive day to Brian's house. Brian wants it uneventful. We all want it uneventful, but either way, I brought all of my tools just in case. So if for some reason a tire blows or an axle goes, I got the grinder, I brought the small welder, we got all of my ratchet tools. So I even brought all my spare parts for Navi, since it's the exact same engine and exact same everything, so I already have all the parts. Brian, has it hit yet?
No, not yet. It won't hit until we get home safely.
Oh, really?
That's the, yeah.
Okay.
Because, as you know, the maiden voyages for first-time bus owners are sometimes adventurous. And let's hope we don't have those kind of adventures.
What do you got for me, Brian?
So right now, to get home, we have temporary plate tags. This is the registration for the title switch. And then I have to have a form showing that I pay taxes. And then Illinois gets you coming and going. And then proof of insurance. And then the original bill of sale. And then the documentation I used for getting the title. And that's, you know, pictures proving that, you know, the signs were blacked out. And then for Illinois, you have to also remove the stop sign too. So in order to get my tags and plates, I had to show these pictures, and I also had to submit them to my insurance company too.
Every state's going to be a little different. New York's different. New Jersey was different when I did Navi originally. Vermont, Montana, those are very popular. He's in Illinois, which has different rules. So if you're buying a bus, you can kind of experience what Brian experienced by just troubleshooting at the DMV and trying to figure it out. Just so anyone's wondering, this bus will still be a bus. So like, it's not a commercial vehicle, but it's still registered as a bus. It's not until he actually does the conversion in his state that he's going to then have the title switched over to a motorhome. So there's like a whole process. Right. Look into your own state. It's something that I can't even tell you right now on YouTube what your state's going to do. You really just have to kind of go online, do the research, and try to figure out what your particular state's going to require. Everyone is different, I can tell you that, because I've done this in a lot of different states. Brian apparently has to get all these seats out within, what, you said 30 days?
Yes.
Yeah, so Illinois is making him take all the seats out within 30 days so that it's like...
my insurance company.
Oh, insurance company. So there's even something new. The insurance company for him is making him take all the seats out. So yeah, just, you know, that's something I can't answer, you know, right now, just because you kind of have to do your own research for your own state and insurance company. But I can tell you, for Brian, this is what he's going through. For me, when I first bought Navi, I just registered it as a school bus, just kind of like he did. And then after I did the conversion, New Jersey then had me submit my title into the state. Then the state reviewed the bus, and then they gave me a new title that was a motorhome. And now Navi and Ivan are both motorhomes. Originally, they were in Jersey. Now, of course, we're in New York. So yeah, I mean, every experience is a little different. Now we get to pre-check this thing and...
Yeah, we're going to do our pre-flight check. And like I said, hopefully the trip home will be uneventful. You know, you just never know when you're buying, you know, an 18-year-old bus.
Yep.
You know, even well taken care of vehicles have issues of breakdown too.
And this one, by the way, only has 90,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, so when we get to Brian's house, we're gonna actually go through the bus in terms of like an actual, like, what were we looking for? What was Brian looking for? What do we like about this, not like about this bus? What we're gonna do now is the pre-check, which is just simply me trying to make sure that I have some confidence that this bus is gonna get home. We're not gonna lose oil. There's no leaky things. And we'll check the tires a bit. Like Brian said, I think he's gonna need new tires. These tires they're just old. They don't have much tread left in them, but I think they're gonna get us at least 3 hours home for this particular trip. We'll check the PSI on them, make sure they're pumped up. I'll look through the engine. I wanna check the airbags, make sure there's no cracks in the airbags so that we're driving on the road. And this thing hasn't been on the road for a while, who knows? We don't want those rubber boots opening up or anything like that. So I'm gonna go through real quick, check that, maybe check the battery, make sure nothing's hanging, you know, just basic stuff. And then we should be able to be good to go and hit the road. All right.
If I can see.
All right, so grease, definitely, that's fine. Yeah, this isn't that bad, Brian.
No, when I looked...
It's the boxes were bad, and some of the... But these are normally rusty, there.
Yeah, and it looked like the bus was undercoated.
Yeah,
so
it does look like it, and it looks like the undercoat's still in good shape. This is just starting the wheel well rust, which is very common on them. You can repair this before it gets bad. On Navi, this whole thing had to get ripped out because the Thomases always rust right here. Brian.
Yep.
We did our pre-check.
Pre-flight is good.
Yep. We everything we could check that we can possibly hope for is good. So we're going to fill the fuel tank, figure out how fast this puppy can go.
Yep.
And I've got my radio. Yep. We're doing it, Brian. We're doing it. The horn's not like Navi. We don't got a big air horn, but. Go Oakley! We got it! We got the bus! Oh my gosh! Drive the cornfields. Oh, this is gonna be fun. All right, kids, better quiet it down back there. I will turn this bus around, you guys. Well, we got 45. We got 4th gear, 55. We got 65. Brian, we getting 65! Man, Brian, I think you got a good bus. All right, 0 to 60 time, everyone. Ready, set, floor it. Man, this thing's riding pretty smooth. We're going slow behind a horse and a buggy, but I mean, I just got it to 65. It accelerates fine, brakes fine, pressure holds, air tanks are holding correctly. So like, I mean, the only thing I want to check is I want to do a brake test and do the good old how the air brake's holding up. But so far, I think this thing might actually run better than Navi, but don't tell Brian that until he sees the video. Look, you like this bus? You're good, Brian. You're good. You got a good bus. So far, super thrilled. Good job, Oakley.
Now, what's the verdict?
Brian, cruise control works.
Okay.
I got it to 70. Let's go on the highway. I want to see if we can go 75. I mean, like Brian, I can't complain about anything right now.
That's good.
I'm gonna just start driving to New York.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go that way, I'm gonna go this way, and this is nostalgic.
I'll take your dog as ransom.
No! This is your first painful fill-up.
I have a motorhome, so it won't be as
okay,
painful.
never mind.
So, but it's diesel, it's more expensive.
That's true. That's true.
We're just getting started.
Okay, we gave Brian the quick rundown on the bus. Real happy with it. I think he got a good bus. Little bit of rust, little bit of possible issues with the tires. I think he's got to replace. There might be an idler pulley going in the engine that I can hear whining a little bit, but overall, can't complain one bit. I think he's gonna be happy. Now we just gotta get it back to his house. Yeah. A little bit of a road update. We just stopped to go to the bathroom. I decided to put Oakley in Brian's car because it's just a little hot. The bus isn't really, you know, it's pretty hot in here. So for Oakley's sake, I put her in Brian's truck or car, van, whatever. I'm really bad at naming vehicles. It's a Dodge. But yeah, in terms of the bus, we're gonna talk about the bus for a second. I got it to about 72. It definitely has a governor about 70. Runs great, cruise control works great. I can hold up a hill, so I'm assuming it's got some pretty dang good gearing that we'll figure out later. All the gauges look good. But yeah, everything looks good. Tire temperatures look good. Everything's great. Brian, how we doing?
Fine. She hasn't made a peep.
No, he's talking about the dog. I was more worried about you.
I'm good. Nervous, excited, worried all at the same time, but we're good.
Perfect. That sounds like a new bus owner. I think we're almost there. Well, we made it. Woohoo! It's 95 degrees. It's hot. All right, let's see how Brian feels now. Brian?
Welcome to Rockford.
How does it feel now?
Awesome. Awesome.
Now it's officially here.
Yeah, it's officially here. We had an uneventful trip.
All right, so we just finally made it to Brian's house. We are parked out in the driveway. Definitely super happy that it's in the driveway. We had actually no issues. We could definitely go through everything on here, but in terms of driving, I brought all my tools, I brought all my spare parts, and this is probably one of the first times in a long time that I drove a bus to help someone, and nothing happened. We're gonna just go with that's a positive thing. Tonight, Brian wants to just take the bus on a spin. We're gonna move it out of the driveway just so it's not in the way anymore, but this guy's officially in the driveway. So now we just gotta get Brian to drive it and then show all of you what we love about this bus. Brian's gonna drive the bus down to a Love's truck stop just for the fun of driving it. We're also gonna test all the lights out, make sure they work the way that they're supposed to at night. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna go through the bus and I'm gonna show you everything. First time driving the bus, Brian, how do you feel?
Well, actually the second time, because I did test drive it.
Oh, that's true.
But this will be the real drive, because it'll be on the road.
That's true. We're missing one there. All right, we just gotta check the high beams. You wanna click the high beams? And then R for race.
Yeah.
I don't wanna go to school! I don't wanna go to school! All right, guys, I'm in the back of the bus. I'm in the full back seat, like the cool kid seat in high school. Everyone wanted to sit back here. Brian is killing it with driving the bus. He's a happy guy. All right, Brian. First time driving the bus on a road.
It was awesome. I'm very pleased with how it runs. You know, it cruises comfortably at 68, which is what I do with my motorhome. And as you pointed out, it's not that noisy. It's pretty quiet. Thinking that we really lucked out and got a really awesome bus. We'll have to get tires. But that's a given. But otherwise, so far everything else is good.
Yep.
It's still trying to sink in. It really is.
It's next live stream we'll have to get the full sink in effect. All right, well, good morning. Brian had his first drive last night, went crazy successful, and now we're gonna have the fun of kind of going through what we liked about this bus and some of the things that we didn't like about this bus, but it's okay because he knows how to fix them. We know we have to fix them, and it still makes the bus a good bus for what he wants. First off, let's just start with the outside. First thing we noticed when we were looking at all the photos that were online was the paint. All the clear coat's gone, and on the hood, it's just all faded into its lack of clear coat. You can see kind of all the bad paint lines. But guess what? We don't care because Brian's gonna be sanding the whole thing, scraping all the decals off and repainting it. So that's not really an issue for us. Going through kind of the rest of it, we noticed that there was a diesel heater installed right under here. So this is kind of a nice feature that he has already installed. It's a coolant heater which can be used to heat the engine. So that's kind of just a nice added bonus that we didn't notice before, but like definitely something nice to have. Not necessary, but if you're living in a cold environment or something, that's kind of nice to have. The transmission, we found the badge number. It's about right up there on the other side. So we can kind of crawl on over here. I think Brian cleaned it off before. Yep, there it is. So this is the badge number, which is gonna tell him what type of transmission he has if he can't get it off the VIN or for some reason can't get it off the company. There's a similar badge just like this, way down there on the differential, and that's gonna tell you what gearing you have on the rear end and what transmission you have. Yeah, we were real happy with that. He's got an Allison 2500. The rear end, I can't get the actual badge number written off, but I'm gonna get it from the VIN number or off the Thomas company. But I'm pretty sure it's like a 550 something. Like it's the combo just, I mean, we're getting 70 miles an hour running about 2,200 RPMs, I think. So I can do the math on that, but I haven't just yet. If any of you out there are transmission, guys, 2,200 RPMs. It's the Allison 2500 with the overdrive. I don't know what the rear end is, and the tires are, I think 1122. Let's find out. The tires are 11R 22.5. So you can kind of figure out a whole bunch from doing math and numbers like that. I'm sure there's a YouTube video out there that even if you aren't a transmission engine guy, you could probably look up how to figure out the ratios and speeds and gas mileage by kind of doing the ratios between the tires, the transmissions, the differentials, and there's a lot more complicated things there. But the good news is we don't really care about that because all Brian cares about is that it goes 70 miles an hour on the highway and it's got cruise control. So technically he doesn't really care, I just do. Another really cool feature that Brian liked is it has 2 storage boxes on each side. This bus was most likely like an activities bus or something. It only has 90,000 miles on it, so it was probably used as like an after school bus. So it was really mostly maintained pretty well. Kind of nice to have both of those. The only rust that we're really finding is on the rear back here. So like we have some rust on the back bars, it's not horrible, and some is starting on the frame rails, but I think this bus is at the point where Brian can catch it. It's gonna be fairly fixable because it's not horrible just yet, and you can totally get a sandblaster on this, clean it up, recoat it, and this bus is definitely gonna last for a while. Word of warning to anyone, if you do start seeing rust and you can poke through it, that's called corrosion. That's really bad. And if it's really any worse than what you're seeing right here, I probably would be walking away from the bus. Rust will develop really quickly, and most of us out there who live in school buses and vans and travel, we're not exactly super nice to our vehicles, and we take them down dirt roads and salt roads, and we live in them full time sometimes, so they're gonna get abused a little bit. So let's start off with a good chassis, right? Some of the places that we did see some rust are very lightly starting, like right here, but it's not actually poked through, it's just bubbling on the paint. So once again, you can fix that, grind it out, and catch it before it gets worse. All right, so tires are the only thing that Brian is kind of gonna have to replace. If you guys are buying a school bus, just know that tires are gonna probably cost you $300, $500 a tire with mounting. So if you buy a bus and you need all new tires, just plan on adding 6 tires for $300 to $500. So you're gonna be spending like, somewhere around $3 grand for new tires. So base that into the pricing of what you're doing. Brian, how thrilled are you that you have storage boxes on the side?
It's amazing.
And they're really big too. Like, they go way deep. Do you have any plans?
I'm thinking now probably water tanks that I can insulate them. I mean, this was an unexpected and very pleasant surprise.
So let's head on into the inside at this point. Obviously, if you're looking at a school bus, pretend like you're looking at a car. Is the windshield cracked? Do you have all your mirrors? Do the brakes and turn signals work? Very basic things that, I'm not really gonna touch on too much. Technically, Brian's ripping apart a bus that's in great shape, but we don't care because he's gonna be ripping it out, spray foaming. Woohoo! We only really care about the rust and the outside and the underside because we're gonna take it to bare metal anyway. The most important part is this. Boom. This is where you're gonna find out all the features and fun things that Brian was looking for.
Yep.
And you got all of them.
I wanted the cruise control, which I did. Wanted the Allison transmission, like the 6-speed with the overdrive. Got it. A bus that goes over 50 miles an hour. Got it. It's easy to drive. The mirrors are heated, and the air suspension, air brakes.
So some of the features that you can look for in buses are, they have retarder brakes. You've got jake brakes, which I haven't seen too often. You've got automatic sand dispensers. You've got chain dispensers. You've got electric powered doors. You've got fans, washer fluids, dome lights, strobe lights. He's got heated tread systems. He's got heated mirrors. Like he said, he's got cruise control, RPM controls. There really are quite a few different features that you can go through and look for in school buses. If you're interested to find out what you can get, Brian actually found a really cool way to find out all the different features that were on the school bus and different options. And that was taking the VIN number from the bus, actually contacting the manufacturer, and then getting all of the spec sheets of options that the buses could have. And then that way he kind of knew what he was looking for and what was available in this particular model, which was actually really smart. So that's something that I just learned from him was, just call the manufacturer and be like, what options did I have in 2006? Honestly, I thought I was going to be filming a video about driving this bus home with Brian, and there was most likely going to be some form of like a breakdown, and the thumbnail was going to be like, broken down, side of the road. Or like this video was going to be something like, don't buy this bus because of these reasons. And the truth is I think Brian actually bought a really good bus, and there's really not much to say that I don't like about it. He does have the tires to replace. He does have some rust to take care of. There may be some things that we were thinking maybe an idler pulley in the engine might be going. But in terms of the bus, those are pretty minor. And this bus has 90,000 miles on it. It looks like it was very well taken care of.
It was very well cared
so
for.
In terms of this bus, if you want to know what not to buy, I have a couple different videos on the channel. If you want to know what to buy, this might be a really good example of like something you can look for. Like I said, just pay attention to the rust because Brian's going into this knowing what he needs to fix and how to fix it, but don't go into it, buying a rusty bus just thinking that you're going to be able to fix it all, and you really don't know what you're getting yourself into because there might be more rusted places you don't know. Yeah, I guess at this point, I'm going to turn on Brian's bus, drive it back to New York, and take it out of the driveway because I like it so much. Brian, congratulations to your bus.
Thank you.
I hope you have a really fun next year or two, or however long it takes for you to build it out until you retire. In the next video, I don't know if we're buying another school bus or we're going to be going on another trip. I'm going to consistently try to get back to Ivan every single video, but when you get a call to go pick up a school bus and drive it to a friend's house, that's what you do. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.